Something inconceivable stares back at us from a frozen vacuum in space, 13 billion light-years away. The James Webb Space Telescope has looked deeper into the cosmic abyss than any previous device, and what it discovered violates all physical laws. We believed we comprehended old galaxies that should not exist, black holes older than time, as well as signals from rogue worlds, scream across the gap. If you appreciate uncovering the universe's darkest secrets, click the like button because what I'm going to show you will forever transform the way you perceive reality. Prepare yourselves. We begin. Something is very wrong with the universe itself. For decades, scientists believed they knew how quickly our universe was growing. The Hubble Space Telescope provided one measurement. Mathematical models expected another. Everything appeared to fit together like pieces of a cosmic puzzle. Then James Webb dug deeper than anyone had ever looked before, and the puzzle broke into 1,000 pieces. The universe is expanding at 2 different rates, depending on where you measure it. Imagine a balloon being inflated. However, the upper part expands twice as quickly as the lower half. It should be impossible. The rules of physics require that expansion be uniform across all of space. When astronomers measured the expansion rate using faraway stars known as Cepheid variables, the Webb verified their worst fears. When they computed it using cosmic microwave background radiation, they obtained a single number. They received a completely different number. The difference is not insignificant. We're talking about a significant disparity that shows our basic understanding of reality is incorrect. Scientists refer to this as the Hubble tension, but the word does not convey the whole horror of what we are dealing with. This is not only a measurement error or a calibration issue. After researching over 1,000 Cepheid stars in 5 different galaxies spanning 130 million light-years, the discrepancy remains. The ramifications are startling. Either our ideas of how the universe works are entirely shattered, or there is an undiscovered force pulling reality apart, such as dark energy, the enigmatic material that powers cosmic expansion. They could be behaving in ways we never expected. Some portions of space may be expanding faster than others, creating cosmic rifts that call into question our understanding of space and time. Adam Roos, the primary researcher who found this issue, stated frankly that measurement mistakes rule out the real and thrilling potential that we have fundamentally misinterpreted the world. When you think about what this entails, the term exhilarating feels out of place. If our fundamental theory of cosmic expansion is erroneous, our calculations about the universe's age, size, and ultimate fate are all doubtful, including Webb's. Unprecedented precision has eliminated all question about the measurements. Both the telescope and Hubble detect the same impossible contradiction. The cosmos is expanding, but in a way that contradicts the principles of physics as we know them. This revelation alone would be sufficient to demolish cosmology textbooks. However, the Webb was still in its early stages. As the telescope resumed its sweep of outer space, it discovered objects that should not exist, behaviors that defy explanation, and phenomena that indicate that our reality is considerably stranger and more hazardous than we ever thought. The expansion crisis marked simply the beginning of a sequence of discoveries that would force scientists to rethink all they thought they understood about the universe. But what Webb discovered next makes the expansion problem appear trivial. In comparison, 6 impossible monsters are drifting in the old cosmos, altering the rules of galactic evolution. When James Webb turned its infrared eyes toward a seemingly vacant stretch of sky near the Big Dipper, astronomers expected to discover tiny baby galaxies bumbling through their first billion years of existence. Instead, they identified 6 huge mature star systems that should not have had time to expand so much. These galactic giants have almost as many stars as our own Milky Way. However, they developed when the universe was only 3% of its current age, attempting to create a full-grown oak tree in just 3 months. That is essentially what these galaxies did on a cosmic scale. Star creation requires time. Gravity takes millions of years to gather enough gas and dust to cause nuclear fusion. Nonetheless, these 6 systems appear to be developing at a rapid pace, become galactic titans. The discovery occurred nearly by chance while the universe was still in its early stages of development. Astrophysicist Erica Nelson was looking at postage stamp-sized areas of the Webb's deep field photos when she noticed numerous fuzzy red spots that appeared impossible. Bright red light in astronomy often signifies old light stretched by the universe's expansion. During its long voyage to Earth, these objects were both old and blindingly bright, a mixture that defied description. Each of these giant galaxies includes 10 billion to 100 billion stars, allowing them to grow to such massive sizes so quickly. They would have needed to create hundreds of new stars every year for hundreds of millions of years. In comparison, the Milky Way produces just roughly 2 new stars per year. These ancient systems with stellar factories are producing at rates that modern physics claims are impossible. The team has given these items the informal label, universe breakers, since they threaten to disrupt our knowledge of how cosmic structures evolve. According to every simulation and model, scientists generated matter in the early universe, which should have clumped together gradually and methodically. Over billions of years, small buildings would eventually merge into larger ones. These 6 galaxies throw the entire time frame out of the window. They argue that the early universe was capable of organizing and complexity. That is something cosmologists never believed conceivable. There is a completely undiscovered process for rapid galaxy creation, or our fundamental ideas about cosmic evolution are fatally flawed. The discovery raises serious concerns regarding dark matter's role in early cosmic evolution. If galaxies can grow this big so quickly, it suggests dark matter is clumping together. And, by attracting ordinary stuff at rates much above current projections, the invisible superstructure that builds our universe may be substantially more violent and unpredictable than we think. Joel Lear, one of the astronomers researching these objects, perfectly highlighted the scope of the situation. We investigated the very early universe for the first time, and uncovered something so unexpected that it causes real concerns for science. However, establishing whether these are real galaxies would necessitate additional observations with a Webb spectrograph, and the results of those follow-up investigations will be considerably more distressing than anyone expected. A monster with the mass of 50 million suns is journeying through space entirely alone, altering the history of the universe. Deep in the early universe, James Webb uncovered something that contradicted every hypothesis of black hole development. Q-Soon is a supermassive black hole with almost no galaxy surrounding it. It's practically naked, wandering through space, devoid of the billions of stars that usually accompany such large things. Most supermassive black holes sit at the center of galaxies, acting as cosmic anchors, surrounded by spinning disks of stars, gas, and dust. They form a symbiotic relationship with their cosmic hosts, evolving over billions of years via a complex dance of gravity and star formation. Q quickly breaks all of those rules. This cosmic wanderer has enough mass to equal 50 million of our suns packed into a space smaller than our solar system. To put that into perspective, if Earth were the size of a pebble, QQSO would remain invisible to the naked eye, despite holding more matter than hundreds of billions of typical stars. What makes this discovery more disturbing is the timing. QSO exists in the universe's early stages, only 600 million years after the Big Bang. Traditional black hole production necessitates the death of huge stars, which entails waiting for the first generation of stars to form, live, and explode in spectacular supernova. That process should take significantly longer than 600 million years. Roberto Minot, the Cambridge astrophysicist who assisted in identifying QSO, described the discovery as utterly off the charts. The object calls into question every scientific paradigm of how supermassive black holes form and evolve in the early cosmos. 3 ideas attempt to explain Q's existence, and each is more disturbing than the last. The first proposes that some black holes arise straight from the collapse of enormous gas clouds, skipping the star phase entirely. The second hypothesis claims that intermediate mass black holes expanded at impossible rates by consuming matter faster than physics would allow. The third theory is the most troubling of them. QSO could be a primordial black hole formed in the universe's early seconds, during rapid changes in space and time following the Big Bang. If this is correct, it means that QSO has existed in the cosmic darkness since the beginning, waiting 13 billion years for stars and galaxies to emerge and illuminate its presence. The Webb has identified hundreds of related objects, including Q-Soon. These small red spots appear throughout the early universe, each representing a potential cosmic monster that defies description. They glow from the light of matter being torn and superheated as it spirals into their gravitational field. The emergence of these naked black holes indicates that the early cosmos was significantly more chaotic and destructive than cosmologists had thought. Instead of the slow, orderly construction of cosmic structures, we may be seeking for evidence of primordial catastrophes that created gigantic black holes before the first stars even existed. If QSO is indeed a primordial black hole, it signifies something far more old and alien than any galaxy or star. But Q wasn't the only impossible black hole web discovered. Deep black holes older than the first stars are lighting up the universe, and they could have existed since the beginning. Scientists have long believed that supermassive black holes emerged after the initial generation of huge stars exploded in dramatic fashion. This procedure should last hundreds of millions of years. Gravity gradually pulls together enough matter to initiate nuclear fusion. Stars spend brief but spectacular lives before exploding in supernova, leaving behind stellar corpses. But James Webb discovered evidence of supermassive black holes existing when the universe was just 400 million years old, which is far too early for this standard formation method to work. Andrea Ferrara and his colleagues at the Superior Normal School in Pisa, Italy, provide a startling solution to this cosmic problem. What if black holes, rather than stars, were the first important generators of light in the universe? What if primordial black holes emerged in the tumultuous initial seconds after the Big Bang, lurking in the darkness while the universe was still in its infancy? These are hypothetical primordial black holes, would have developed in a fundamentally different way than stellar black holes. Instead of collapsing stars, they formed from high-density fluctuations in the primordial soup, which existed less than 5 seconds after the Big Bang. Imagine the early universe as a fiercely boiling stew of energy and matter, with some sections growing so dense that they collapse directly into black holes, never creating stars. The data obtained by the Webb confirms this unusual scenario. Many of the brilliant objects in the early universe appear to be pointed rather than stretched, implying that they are driven by concentrated sources rather than scattered star formation. When gas approaches a black hole, it warms to extreme temperatures and emits bright light from afar. If this theory is right, superheated materials may appear almost identical to starlight. It implies that primordial black holes were feeding on the universe's beginnings. Gas clouds are becoming larger and more massive, while also lighting up the cosmos. These monsters would have been sitting in the dark for hundreds of millions of years, waiting for the universe to evolve sufficiently to give them with food. The ramifications are startling. Primordial black holes could explain why supermassive black holes expanded so quickly in the early universe. They had hundreds of millions of years head start, allowing them to grow to tremendous sizes before the first galaxies formed around them. However, this scenario raises even more disturbing questions. If primordial black holes were prevalent in the early universe, they may still exist now, invisible and undetectable. Some could be wandering around our galaxy, old remnants of the universe's catastrophic birth. These primordial monsters, which predate every star, represent a fundamental shift in our understanding of cosmic evolution, replacing the idea of a universe that gradually built complexity from simple beginnings. We may be looking at a universe that was created with powerful, gigantic objects already incorporated in its structure. The discovery of primordial black holes would also reveal important insights into the physics of the Big Bang itself, revealing conditions in the universe's early moments that we can only conceive. Studies of these old black holes uncovered an even stranger phenomenon. The problems, our understanding of gravity itself, two galaxies colliding in a cosmic train disaster, resulting in hitherto unseen physics. When astronomers initially discovered the object, which they dubbed the Infinity Galaxy, its shape piqued their interest. This cosmic oddity features two compact red nuclei, each encircled by blazing rings, creating an exact figure-8 pattern that resembles the mathematical symbol for infinity. But the galaxy's unusual appearance was only the start of its mysteries. The Infinity Galaxy was formed when two huge disk galaxies collided head-on in a cosmic disaster that occurred millions of years ago. Galaxy collisions are common in the universe, but this one has produced something unprecedented. Instead of the traditional chaotic merger that destroys both original structures, these two galaxies have kept their distinct identities while forming something altogether new. What makes this collision so strange is the location of the supermassive black hole. In typical galaxy mergers, the core black holes of both galaxies gradually spiral toward each other, either merging into a single gigantic object. Alternatively, one can be ejected from the system totally. The Infinity Galaxy defies this pattern entirely. The supermassive black hole is located squarely between the two galactic nuclei, suspended in a wide swath of incandescent hydrogen gas that was taken from both galaxies before their collision. This posture should be gravitationally unstable. The black hole should be drawn toward one of the nuclei rather than floating in the middle. Pieto van Dam and Gabriel Brammer, the astronomers who found this system, saw something called direct collapse black hole development, as if they were a cosmic referee overseeing the galaxy collision. This black hole may have originated immediately from the collapse of a vast gas cloud generated during the galaxy collision, rather than via the demise of enormous stars. When two galaxies collide, the process goes as follows. Under ideal conditions, they generated massive jets of gas flowing between their centers. These gas streams can get so enormous and dense that they collapse directly into a black hole, never generating stars. It's like watching a very tremendous cosmic avalanche. It forms its own gravitational trap. This direct collapse method could explain one of the most baffling discoveries revealed by the Webb in the early cosmos. The telescope discovered supermassive black holes that are far too large for their age, expanding to huge sizes quicker than orthodox creation models allow. If black holes can form directly from collapsing gas clouds, they may reach supermassive status much faster than previously thought possible. The Infinity Galaxy serves as a real-time laboratory for researching this unusual development process. The black hole looks to be actively feeding on the gas that is moving between the two galactic cores and growing larger. As the collision progresses, radio observations reveal high-energy releases from precisely where the black hole should be, proving that it is actively eating matter. However, the most worrisome part of the Infinity Galaxy collision is not what we can see right now. This discovery sheds light on the violent processes that created the early universe. If direct collapse and black hole generation were prevalent during the cosmos youth, it indicates that the universe passed through a period of great violence and turmoil that we are only beginning to grasp, and that violence has left behind items stranger than wandering black holes. Hundreds of orphaned worlds are drifting through space in couples, transmitting radio signals that should not exist. James Webb discovered around 500 free-floating planets in the Orion Nebula that do not orbit any stars. These cosmic wanderers are each around the size of Jupiter, have been ejected from their home solar systems, and are now drifting through the chilly void of interstellar space. What makes them particularly unusual is that many of them orbit each other at distances ranging from 25 to 400 times the distance between Earth and Sunday. Scientists refer to these paired wanderers as Jupiter mass binary objects, or JUMBOs. They question every theory of planet creation. Planets are often formed in the disks of gas and dust that surround newborn stars, gradually accumulating material until they reach their final stage. The gravitational dance necessary to form double planets should be extremely rare, yet Webb has discovered dozens of these cosmic couplings. The enigma was heightened when astronomers focused radio telescopes at these two planets and discovered something unique. Several gumbos are sending radio signals with previously unseen patterns from planets. These are not the normal emissions of worlds with magnetic fields interact with charged particles. They generate gigahertz frequency radio bursts that are thousands of times higher in pitch than FM radio broadcasts on Earth. Radio waves at these frequencies originate from technology sources or highly intense celestial events such as pulsars and quasars. Finding them on rogue planets shows that these worlds are experiencing physical processes that do not exist anyplace else in our solar system. The radio emissions appear to be related to the binary nature of these planets. When two heavy objects orbit each other, they cause complicated gravitational interactions that can produce large magnetic fields and electrical currents. Consider it cosmic friction on a previously unheard-of magnitude. The jumbos are essentially huge electrical generators propelled by their orbital dance, but the signals themselves remain enigmatic. Different pairings of JUMOs generate different radio signatures, implying that each binary system has a distinct electromagnetic personality. Some release continuous streams of radio waves, while others create irregular bursts with no discernible pattern. The implications are alarming. If these orphaned worlds can generate such tremendous radio signals, what else are they capable of? Their magnetic fields could be orders of magnitude more powerful than anything seen in our solar system. The presence of so many jumbos shows that planetary system development may result in space weather phenomena that could affect adjacent star systems. If hundreds of these coupled worlds exist in a single nebula, there could be millions or billions distributed across our galaxy. Each symbolizes a failing solar system, a cosmic tragedy in which gravity interactions went wrong, ejecting planets into endless darkness. These rogue worlds are cosmic orphans, eternally detached from the warmth and energy of stellar companionship. They remain in eternal darkness. They derive their heat only from the gradual disintegration of radioactive atoms in their cause, and the tidal forces caused by their orbital dance with their partner. As distressing as these roaming planets are, Webb discovered worlds that question our knowledge of planetary formation in even more fundamental ways. The next discovery will push scientists to reevaluate all they thought they knew about how planets form around young stars. A young star system defies the fundamental rules of planet formation. By creating worlds made of the wrong materials in the star-forming region known as NGC 6357, James Webb discovered a planet-forming disk that contains almost no water but is rich in carbon dioxide, precisely where Earth-like planets should form. This discovery calls into question one of the most fundamental assumptions about how rocky planets form around young stars. Every model of planetary formation assumes that the areas around young stars where rocky planets develop are dominated by water, ice, and silicate minerals. Water is one of the universe's most abundant chemicals, and its presence in planetary disks is thought to be necessary for the formation of worlds capable of supporting life. The disk around the star XUE-10 disrupts all of these ideas. When astronomers analyzed this system with their near-infrared spectrograph, they anticipated to observe the typical signal of water vapor combined with other common chemicals. Instead, they discovered a disk in which carbon dioxide dominated the intersections. Where terrestrial planets generally originate, water is so rare that it is scarcely detectable, resulting in an environment unlike anything scientists had predicted prior to the finding. Challenges our understanding of planetary formation chemistry on Earth. Water was critical in shaping our planet's geology, atmosphere, and, ultimately, the conditions that permitted life to arise. A planet forming in the XUE-10 system would evolve under radically distinct chemical conditions, perhaps resulting in many types of worlds. There is no comparable in our solar system. Two ideas try to explain this strange chemistry, and both have disturbing implications. The first hypothesis proposes that powerful UV radiation from either the young star or huge neighboring stars has effectively sterilized the disk, breaking apart water molecules and forcing hydrogen away while allowing oxygen to mix with carbon. The second theory is far more alarming. Carbon dioxide dominance could be due to peculiar conditions in the planetary disk's dust grains. Instead of being coated with water, ice, or dust grains in normal systems, these particles may be coated with carbon dioxide due to the unique environmental conditions surrounding this young star. Either explanation suggests that planetary formation can occur in ways astronomers never imagined. If ultraviolet radiation can remove water from planet-forming disks, many potentially habitable worlds may never receive the chemical building blocks required to create life. The galaxy could be filled with dry carbon dioxide-rich planets that developed under conditions unsuitable for life. This discovery also raises questions regarding the diversity of planetary systems around the galaxy. If planet creation can produce such significantly varied chemical environments, there may be entire classes of worlds out there that operate via geological and atmospheric processes that we have never seen before. The XUE-10 system is a natural laboratory for investigating alternate planetary formation processes. As the planets in this system evolve, they will reveal insights on how worlds arise. When the basic chemical ingredients are fundamentally different from what we observe in our own solar system, yet the unusual chemistry of planet formation was only one of the many atmospheric mysteries that Webb would uncover for the telescope. The next target would disclose a world so hostile and strange that it challenges our understanding of what makes a planetary atmosphere. A world so close to its star that its surface shines like molten metal, with an atmosphere that defies all planetary science laws, 55 Cree orbits. It orbits its star so closely that it can complete a full year in only 18 Earth hours. This hell planet is securely locked, so the same side is always facing its star, resulting in a day side hot enough to melt copper, and the night side fell into perpetual darkness. Surface temperatures exceed 4,000 degrees Fahrenheit. According to all planetary physics rules, it is hot enough to evaporate the majority of known materials. This planet should have lost its atmosphere. Billions of years ago, James Webb discovered something impossible. This hell planet not only has an atmosphere, but it is made up of components that should not exist as gases at such high temperatures. The atmosphere appears to be high in carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide, forming a dense blanket over a world that should be as airless as Mercury. The discovery was made through precise temperature measurements with Webb's mid-infrared instrument. When astronomers measured the planet's dayside thermal emissions, they discovered that they were cooler than expected. Something was blocking and redistributing the star's heat, which could only be a thick enough atmosphere to transfer energy from the hot day side to the cold night side. This atmospheric circulation results in one of the most extreme weather systems ever seen. Imagine winds screaming at thousands of miles per hour, transporting vaporized rock and metal from day to night. Where these elements condense and fall as molten mineral rain, the temperature difference between day and night sides should be more than 3,000 degrees, yet the environment somehow moderates this difference through convection currents that work under certain conditions. No laboratory on Earth could reproduce the conditions that make this atmosphere genuinely unattainable. Is its source the hell? The planet's atmosphere cannot be a residue of its genesis because solar winds from its nearest star would have stripped away any primordial gases within millions of years. Instead, astronomers believe this is a secondary atmosphere that continuously bubbles up from the planet's innards. Imagine a planet where the crust itself is boiling. The high heat and tidal pressures from the neighboring star are actually burning the planet's innards, causing carbon-rich elements deep underground to melt and escape via volcanic outgassing. The atmosphere is a con.